You're listening to 89.5 The Wave, KCFV Ferguson. This is Dead Air.
That is right. You're listening to the one, the only Dead Air here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood DJ JazzHandss, bringing you another Dead Air, talking about the Season 6 finale of The Walking Dead. That is right. And I am joined with the one, the only Paul and Anna Mae.
Hey, good morning.
Damn it, JazzHandss. I'm going to have nightmares for weeks because of that whistle.
Oh, you have no idea how happy I was when I put that together like yesterday. I was
No,
like,
it's good,
oh, this
but-
is good. And we're also joined with the one, the only, my brother, Jack.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
And so, yeah, he's joining us. He had to join after Sunday's episode. He had to jump on and get everything going. So, but what an episode to go out on, honestly.
Yeah.
That was just, it was phenomenal.
Intense.
Very, very intense.
Exactly.
And actually, there was one thing I wanted to ask Jack about real quick.
Yeah.
Did you have some sort of weird hope that they had maybe spoofed you when you saw Stephen Ogg show up?
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. All right. I wanted Stephen Ogg to play Negan. I remember back when I was like, Stephen Ogg would be a great Negan, but I was so glad when I saw him as a savior. I was like, that's Trevor. That's Trevor from GTA. I was so happy when I saw that because I was stressed out and scared during the episode, but every time it calmed me down a little bit.
To see Trevor out there threatening the survivors?
Yeah, just to see Trevor. And I really hope it's like the trinity of the saviors are Negan, Dwight, and Trevor.
Yeah, because did they ever say his name?
I'm calling him Trevor.
Yeah.
It would be funny if they did call him Trevor.
As an inside
Yeah,
joke.
I would absolutely love that. So, okay, real quick, the episode is titled Last Day on Earth, which it is for somebody. And we have to talk about that first thing. Let's
Spoilers, we don't know.
We gotta dive right in, okay, because we could be here all morning
Just guessing.
talking about who it could be. So I want your guys' three. The three possible characters that, ran in Negan. Met Lucille firsthand.
Oh, gosh. Who wants to start?
I guess I'll start.
Okay.
My three characters, in particular, from most likely to kind of least likely, but still pretty likely. Glenn, number one, definitely. It happened in the comic books. I feel like they're not gonna stray the course. Daryl, just to show how bad Negan is. To show how bad and scary Negan is, just to kill off the the biggest, toughest dude. And then Eugene, because of that scene, that big scene where he goes on and we'll talk about that scene later. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about
You know what I'm
that
talking
in
about.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next.
Yep.
I'm going to be a slight different, but same three characters, different order. I'm going to say number one, Eugene, just because of that scene. Again, we're going to really have to talk about that one. Second, Glenn, because comics again. But it's with thing they did with Eugene, it's it kind of pushed him away maybe from the line of fire. And third would probably be Daryl, just because let's see how big of a fan reaction we can get if Daryl dies.
All right. I'm going to go. I'm going to veer off course here.
Awesome. That's always fun.
Number
good.
one, I agree. I think Glenn, the comics, the precedent has been set. I think Glenn, especially with the reaction he had when Negan walked up to Maggie and said, "You look like poop." Only Negan never says poop. Although he did say pee-pee pants, which made me laugh.
That he did.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Negan in depth because, trust me, I've been waiting for this episode for 3-4 seasons now.
You have.
Yeah, no,
So-
really?
So we're
You've been
gonna
waiting on Negan?
How many napkins did you have there, JazzHandss?
we're gonna have a long, in-depth conversation about Negan because, damn.
But my first is Glenn. He got it in the comics. The reaction he made with Maggie, I think he figures that means Glenn is somebody special to the entire group. And really, the entire group kind of, when Glenn freaked out when he started talking to Maggie, and so I could see Glenn.
Yeah.
Number 2, Eugene. Same reason, same scene. We'll get into that one. My number 3 is actually Abraham, because right now, Daryl does not look like much.
True.
Daryl looks, I mean, he's been shot by Dwight. He really didn't put up much of a fight. And if Dwight has anything to say, if Dwight has any pull on Negan's ear, he's already told Negan, this guy's no threat. I overpowered him, 3 times?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, he had more people and he escaped the once, but I got him back. And he's tied up. I had him in the woods before you did the thing to my face. I caught him. I took his bike. I took his crossbow. I don't think he's going to see Daryl as much of a threat, and I think he's going to communicate that to Negan. However, Abraham looks pretty big and bad. And Negan, to me, I think his whole thing is, I'm going to take out the biggest, baddest, most dangerous-looking one of you. Not the leader, not the kid. I think he's underestimated Michonne.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he probably will underestimate a lot of the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to be prepared for, hopefully, what is going to happen when Carol gets back into her right mind and becomes Carol Bow. So that's my pick. Glenn,
Hopefully.
Eugene, Abraham.
Yeah,
And last but not least.
the only thing I'm going to say a little bit about Abraham is that, for me, I feel that he looks at Abraham and can kind of tell that he is a soldier. He is one of those ones that will take orders. And if Rick's the leader and Rick says jump, of course Abraham will be the first one to say how high. So I think
I see that.
I think by that standard, if he can control Rick, which he's already doing, which
He's got Rick.
we're going to
he
be talking.
does.
We're going to be talking about that because Rick. But okay, my 3. I'm actually going to go kind of against the grain a little bit. I will say, Glenn. I think Glenn's definitely on the chopping block. And Glenn, Daryl, or even I'm going to say Michonne. I'm going to call Michonne. Just because everything with Rick that has kind of been leading up to this point.
Well, we were talking about that.
And how he's afraid again and everything like that to let somebody in. And I mean, what a better way than to, than to do.
Than to destroy the Rishon ship.
Yeah, and of course he doesn't know about the Rishon ship, but I'm sure, I feel that like symbolism or whatever, he'll just randomly pick Michonne and go from there.
The only reason I'd have to argue with that one is, even though Negan doesn't know about Rick and Michonne, the writers do. And if he wants to control Rick, there's 3 people he needs to leave alone. And that's Carl, Michonne, and Judith. He can threaten them, and that will get Rick to do what he wants. But if he kills any of them, game over. Rick's going to go back in. I mean, you saw what he did to the claimer guy that was about ready to get a little up on Carl.
Yeah.
He bit the one. He bit what was his name? Joe.
I think so.
Bit Joe's throat completely out. I think if Negan kills Michonne, if Michonne ends up being the one, I think that's going to severely shorten the storyline, because at that point, Rick's not going to go back and go, well, it looks like we're working for Negan, until he figures out a plot to get out of it. It's going to be like, we're going to fake we're working for him until I can get him alone, and I'm going to rip his throat out with my bare teeth.
That's it true. That's
I
it
can
true.
see that.
That's it true. And we're gonna go more in depth about Rick, because he was one of the more crucial. Well, not one of the more. He's been the crucial character throughout this entire season. The last couple episodes, he's had a lot of stuff to do. So, he's had a lot of different interesting kind of dynamics coming up into him, and so we're gonna definitely be talking a lot about Rick coming up. But real quick too, and because it's we got to give a round of applause, honestly, to the cast and crew of The Walking Dead because they have given us such another phenomenal season. I mean, honestly, you could debate that it might not be one of the better episodes. I think it was one of the better episodes.
Well, I think it was a fantastic episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was one of the best season finales we've gotten.
Yes.
Yes,
You
definitely.
can't. Really?
Well, apparently.
Which one are you arguing for?
Okay, I'm kind of see both sides of the coin, but like, I don't think people are wrong that the episode.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay.
We're going to get into that. Trust me, because we need to talk about it. But let's give a round of applause to the Walking Dead cast and crew. You guys did phenomenal this year. It was amazing.
Notice me, Chris Hardwick.
Exactly. Notice me, Chris Hardwick. We love you.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I wanted to bring up was on the Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick. They had, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched that, their special guest cast member was not Who Died, which would have been really cool because then we wouldn't have to wait 7 months. It was Negan.
Or maybe they did have Negan and the person he killed.
That could be.
No. We don't,
That could be.
Very
but
controversial.
Foreshadowing.
But their surprise cast member was Negan.
Yeah, which Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the perfect
I like
pick.
He was.
I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He was, and I will say this, the reason I asked you the question I did, Jack, was when I saw Stephen Ogg, I was like, I wonder, he actually would make a pretty good Negan.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that, maybe Jack was, and then when we saw at the end, Jeffrey Dean Morgan step out with the hand wraps and the bat and the leather jacket, I was like, nope.
See,
There's Negan.
I feel like
that's Negan.
Yeah.
I feel like the people who like Rick killed, like all the like when like they stormed that one place.
Yeah.
I feel like they were kind of like the field people, and I feel like Steve Ogg and like the people he were with, like Steve Ogg is like a general. He's like
Yeah.
a general
Yeah.
of the Saviors.
Yeah, almost to the point where if you noticed, because I wanted to say this a little bit about Dwight, I don't think Dwight's a general yet.
No.
I think Dwight still has a lot of working up to do and a lot of kissing up to Negan.
I don't
But
think
if you
Dwight's going to
noticed-
make it to general.
If you noticed, Steve Ogg was like, Dwight, bring him out. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, this.
It wasn't, hey, Dwight, come on, man. It was, Dwight, do this.
Yeah,
Now.
it was an order. He ordered
Yeah.
him to do something, and Dwight followed. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting. So, okay, now we're going to jump onto the subject because we have to. What did you guys think about the cliffhanger? Because the fans are like they're split. There's a split. There's you either love it or you hate it. And what are your guys' personal opinions? I mean, on this, really?
I was expecting it. I'd
Yeah.
already heard that was what they were going to do, and Walking Dead usually ends either on a cliffhanger or the group has just found safety.
Yeah.
It's always going to end one way or the other. It's never, it's just another normal day. It's like, oh, they finally made it somewhere and it's safe.
Hallelujah.
Or it's, oh my God, what happened to... No, you can't leave me like this. Not until
Yeah.
October. Come on.
Yeah.
And I was expecting it. It sucks that we're going to have to wait until October to find out who died. I am very, very grateful for what Scott Gimple said, which was, it will not be one of those, we're going to start off season 7 following Morgan and Carol, and we're going to stay with them for 5 or 6 episodes before we let you know who died. He's like, you're going to know first episode, boom, it's right there. That's it.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
and
Thank God.
I definitely agree with that because it's what they actually said on Talking Dead, and I completely agree. Where this whole story was about Rick kind of submitting, Rick losing his power, and then the next story is going to be about the person Negan kills and the aftermath of that.
Yes.
So that's what I think's going to happen. But you had a very different opinion, Jack.
Yeah, this is the part where you guys hate me, and I'm gonna.
Oh dear, here we go.
All right, here's my thing. I can kind of see where I can kind of get behind why people are mad that it's a cliffhanger, because here's the thing: it was a very crucial scene in the comic books. It was a very crucial moment and a crucial scene that we saw all the way through that wasn't based on the cliffhanger. Now, by taking that logic, it would be like taking in Spider-Man the death of Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Man, but it's like they do a cliffhanger. And you have to wait till Spider-Man 3 to find out did he save her? Didn't he? It's just one of those things to where I feel like it's a very crucial moment
but movies are definitely different than TV. You can have cliffhangers on TV, whereas movies, you need to see the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if it was a Spider-Man Netflix original series, and they did that as a season finale, I think that'd be kind of more interesting.
Yeah, but
Or even, like a Daredevil if they left a cliffhanger at the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my argument's sake isn't for if it's a movie. It's for a comic book. It's for big moments in comic books that being left on a cliffhanger, you're gonna feel kind of cheated.
Yeah, I understand that. And the one and only thing that I will say a little bit about this, because I knew that scene was coming too. I was kind of looking at the time, and I'm like, we're not going to know who dies.
I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to believe it.
We're not going to know who dies. I think I called it.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
But,
I was in denial about the whole thing.
But it's one of those things where the only complaint I have about it is that it does kind of take the sting away a little bit.
Oh, that's another thing.
And then if they kind of open up with it next season, I don't think it's going to be as impactful because we've had this episode of build-up, this episode of fear. And so opening the series with the death or the aftermath of the person that died.
I mean, not only that, we've already gotten used to Glenn being dead once.
Yeah. We've gotten used to waiting for
Why would they
Glenn.
do that? And his name's written on that wall. That could have been foreshadowing, too. Glenn's name written on the wall.
Well, I thought they washed it off.
But
They tried.
They tried
still,
to.
It's still there.
Yeah, I mean,
He's dead.
You don't
dead,
know.
man.
You don't know. But
There's...
Since you're saying about that, it's not going to be as impactful. I don't know. It depends because we only got to see the first person point of view of Negan basically, not beating down the viewer like they said in Talking Dead.
I was going to say, what did he have against that cameraman? What did that cameraman ever do to
It
him?
could have just been a regular camera.
it must have
you
been the
don't know.
same one that attacked Ash.
If you actually look at the episode, there was this part where they were the Rick's group was having this standoff with the Saviors and they were talking and the camera had a over the shoulder view of Rick, and when the Savior says something, Rick just looks back towards the camera. I'm like, he had a real Jim Halpert moment from The Office.
He Deadpooled for just a minute.
Yeah.
Believe what this guy's saying? Really?
No, it literally look at that. I just picture a cutaway interview. I don't think these Saviors
No, quite what they're
understand.
into. But
I feel like we're going to have to work on this a lot if we're ever going to have a stable relationship with them.
wow. Okay. But the thing I think is still going to be impactful is we only saw the first person point of view. Now, if they're going to give us a third shot, behind Negan's shoulder and seeing who he beat down, I think that would be more impactful than just showing the blood. Showing them looking down at the person that we're going to then see over Negan's shoulder.
Yeah,
it's already dead.
I don't know. It's either going to go one of two ways. It's going to go from that scene again with the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then when he goes, "You are it," it's going to be from his perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the show's going to open up, and we're not going to see him beat the person, but we're going to see the thud, and then it's going to zoom kind of in, and we're going to see their crushed in face. I could see something like that happening.
I could see either of those happening. I'm leaning more towards rekindling that build-up with maybe the last minute or two of Negan's speech, where he probably starting somewhere around him teasing Carl about, wow, you're his kid, aren't you? And then looking at Maggie and threatening Maggie and Glenn freaking out, and then him doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then you are it. Bam!
Yeah.
I could see them doing that just to build up that tension for the moment, especially since we're coming back from a 7-month hiatus.
Yeah, it's we've let you
Yeah.
rest.
and
here's the hype again.
And that's the only complaint, because I don't mind waiting to see who died. I really don't mind waiting. That's fine, but for the impactfulness of what it could be, especially because we've been scared throughout the entire episode, building up to this, where each way they go, there's more and more saviors. They're getting blocked off. And this tension of them running, and then the whistle, of course, where they were surrounded, and you're like, oh, man. And then to kind of cut back to this, it's going to be a little bit harder to get back into it.
And that was a wonderful way of building up how big and bad the Saviors are. Mm-hmm. And, the whole bulk of this second half of the season has been Rick saying, it's okay, we can take them. We haven't met anybody we can't take yet. We're tough. the Alexandrians can kill now. They're good. We've got the weapons. We've got the numbers. We can do this. We're good. And slowly but surely, the Saviors, especially after they took out that outpost, they've been coming back and proving, no, you're not that good. We know things. We found you. We know about you. And I think the whole RV chase to get Maggie to Hilltop was a wonderful device.
Yeah.
To prove to them, because, I think it was like the first one, Stephen Ogg was just like, hey, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not letting you through, but there's a lot of other routes. I'm sure you're going to get where you're going. Knowing that
they had
the Saviors had every route blocked.
Yeah.
And that was their way of showing, yeah, you think you're big and bad, and you get out. Because if you notice, the first time they got out of the RV, they all stood there, guns in hand, ready. By the last time, it was like Eugene saying, I'll go ahead. They're looking for the RV. They're not looking for people. You guys go and walk through the woods. And by that time, they were just scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could see the fear on Rick's face as the episode progressed.
Yes.
Because Maggie was getting worse and worse.
Maggie was getting worse.
Well, and they kept running into Saviors.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
but
and he had to stay positive. And the fact that Stephen Ogg's character, we'll call him Trevor, okay? Until said otherwise, we'll call him Trevor. Trevor, pretty much, what his whole thing was is that he had to have been following them. Because of what Eugene said makes it untrue, because when they got to the fire, you hear Stephen Ogg again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he had to have been trailing him to get to that point, or he had to have gone straight to that fire point and leave his men behind.
Well, not only that, but they threw the body that he had spray painted the X on over the overpass.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there had to have been enough men following him to know exactly what time, because if you get up and move, they could have just, gone back to that one place and go.
See, that was something the entire episode I was sitting there questioning it's like, why did nobody ever come up with the thought, hey, you know what? We tried this. They blocked us. They watched us turn around.
What if we could came back?
Let's head down this point and then whip a Yui and see if we can come back before they can go, oh, crap, they're headed back this way, and make it through. I wondered that the entire...
Yeah.
After about the second or third time they got stopped, I'm just like, why not go back and try one of the ones that they've already
well, I mean, the third time they
blocked
had
you off.
The Walker chain gang, so...
Yeah.
Well, and it was...
Yeah,
they were lured.
They
were luring him to, the big bad Negan. So I want to talk a little bit more about this, and then we're going to move to Rick, and then we're probably going to take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
But what'd you guys think about Negan? First thoughts on Negan. I am so happy I get to say that now. Finally, after so many episodes of this, just sitting down, going, "Negan's coming, Negan's." Now I can say, "What were your thoughts on Negan?" Everybody, what were your thoughts on Negan? Let's go.
I thought he was scary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's definite.
I literally got scared when I saw him. Honestly, this was the scariest episode of Walking Dead. It wasn't action packed. Like, it played with your mind on how
it was
scary
a big mental game.
Yeah.
As far as Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal, I call it a Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man moment.
Yes.
It was one of those things, like we were mentioning earlier, Stephen Ogg, I saw him and I thought, wow, yeah, he could actually be Negan. And when Jeffrey Dean Morgan walked out, hands wrapped, leather jacket, everything ready, Lucille in his hand, and said, hi, I'm Negan. It was like,
hi, Negan.
Yep, that's Negan.
Yep.
Nobody else. I don't care what happens if something, and I'm not saying that I want this to happen because I really, really don't, but if something were to happen tomorrow to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you're going to have to figure out a way to kill Negan off and have somebody else be the big bad. You cannot recast Negan.
Yeah.
No.
You can't.
Besides that, I thought he did a great job of balancing the menacing, the crazy, and the very charming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I liked what people were saying that basically, Kirkman was saying that had this story started off following Negan instead of Rick,
We would see Rick as the bad guy.
We would, at this point, we would see Rick as, there's this guy, he's coming around, he's killing all of our people. God, what's wrong with him, man? I hope Negan beats them to death,
Yeah, exactly.
He would be the hero.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's the one problem that I've had with the group as a whole is in this season in particular, I think there's a lot of animosity. I believe that's the word.
Animosity.
Animosity with some of the members and Rick and stuff, and the fact that they did attack the Saviors. And I feel that, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, everything that happened to them in this episode was kind of their fault.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was.
They called it upon. They messed with Negan's men, and this is what happened.
And you know what? The whole, hey, we've got to have a partnership with Hilltop thing was great, and it's integral to the story moving forward.
Uh-huh.
But they really should have asked a little bit more before they said, we'll kill Negan for you.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's going to dive into Rick because I want to hear Anime's personal opinion about Negan, and then I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Then we're going to dive into Rick.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Jack. Frightfully scary. I mean, I was sitting and I actually went over and watched it with Paul just because I didn't know quite how the episode was going to go. And yeah, I like went pale and like froze.
She did. She did.
Like, holy crap, this guy's very, very scary. I mean, it's like we had the governor with his charm, but it's like with Negan, it makes governor look like a fluffy bunny compared to him.
Well, and did you get the feeling that Negan actually, like the governor was putting on a front?
Yeah, the governor was totally putting on a front. And
Negan was like, I am who I am. You know what? I don't necessarily want to beat you to death, but I'm gonna.
Basically.
Yeah.
Just like that I'm trying to think of the nature. Just the not easygoing. That's the wrong kind of word, but
Laid back.
yeah, just like I'm gonna do it just because I'm Negan and I can.
Well, and it's also like because compared to the governor, like you're right, it is a complete front with the governor. But for Negan, it's like it's almost in the way where he's like, well, you killed a bunch of my men, so I gotta kill one of you. And there's a part of you that's like, well, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
That's the
Do you need
thing,
us to
you're
sign some
agreeing with
paperwork or
him.
something?
Yeah.
Negan, like, do you need
Like just one of you.
do you need our social security, something like that, like before we go on any further, like Mr. Negan, sir?
We, the survivors, agree that you can choose one of our people. Please, not the pregnant one, not any of the kids, and not Daryl Dixon.
Honestly,
to take as punishment for killing off a whole ton of your
Your men,
people. And
yeah.
when you sent more people to kill us, we killed them too.
Yeah.
What was that, Jack?
honestly, I feel like the whole you know how when Negan was going eeny meeny miny mo.
Yeah.
I feel like he was bluffing at Carl. I feel like he wouldn't have hurt Carl.
Yeah, I feel that he
Yeah.
was just
trying to get
scaring
him all
Rick.
scared.
Yeah, I
He
feel
was
like
just trying to scare Rick.
He wouldn't hurt Carl.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was getting at Rick.
Yeah, he was just, and that's what's so interesting about this character and why I love it so much. Because when he first steps out of the RV, which was their RV,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he was going through their stuff, and he just
Yeah,
he
his stuff.
smiles.
His stuff.
Exactly. he steps out and he smiles, and he's just like, we scared yet? It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, yep, this is Negan, word for word, almost exactly from the comic books.
Oh,
They
yeah.
took out a lot of the F-bombs,
Whoa.
They almost had. They had to.
but
Yeah.
word for word, I'm watching this, and
I was shocked that they
Negan.
used the "It's almost pee-pee pants time"
yeah.
line because that was straight out of the comics.
Oh, yeah, and that's where, I think Negan's kind of personality is very interesting because you got this big bad threat, but then he's using stuff and he's using these words like,
He's talking to them
Pee-pee
like
Pants
children.
City.
Yeah.
It's Pee-pee
Yeah.
Pants City, and, this is Lucille. She's awesome. It's like this very weird kind of dynamic that he has, and it's like, he's crazy, but he's not crazy. He's charming, and I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the perfect. And honestly, as I've been wanting Negan for a while, I'm
We
glad
know.
we've waited.
Yeah.
I am glad that we've waited. This needed to happen. We've needed to tell the story up till now. We've needed to build up Rick's confidence so much so that Negan can come down with his bat and just wham, knock him down a couple pegs. And I think this definitely proved that. So we're actually gonna go. We're gonna take a break now. And when we get back, I want to definitely talk a lot more about Rick because we need to. We need to talk about Rick.
Yes.
We also need to talk Morgan and his first kill.
Oh, yeah.
Since Eastman.
There was a lot more there. And we need to talk about Eugene's
Heroics.
awesome moments. There's so much more to this episode. So everybody stay tuned for the Walking Dead Season 6 Dead Air finale. So we will be back right after this here on 89.5 The Wave.
You gotta go, Beth. I gotta go.
Stay tuned for more Dead Air on 89.5 The Wave with Jazz Hands.
Bad ideas for an Olympic event. This would take the gold.
Dead Air is back on 89.5 The Wave with Jazz Hands.
Today's your lucky day, fellas. You've been pardoned by the state of Georgia. You're free to go.
That is right. We are back to the one, the only Dead Air here on 89.5 The Wave. I'm your host, your friendly neighborhood DJ Jazz Hands. I apologize. No, I don't got a cold. I just
Did
took...
you say Negan was that... got you that choked up?
Yeah, he did. It got me choked up, but I am
Yeah,
joined with the one, the only Paul Anime and my dear brother Jack talking about last Sunday's epic Walking Dead episode titled The Last Day on Earth?
Last Day on
Last Day on Earth.
Last Day on Earth. Last Day on Earth. And so, if you missed it before, we talked a little bit about Negan. We talked a little bit about the overall cliffhanger and who we thought died. And so now we're going to dive right back in, and we need to talk about Rick. Because Rick has been one, throughout this entire season, and especially last episode, you guys weren't here for it, but last episode I was extremely annoyed with Rick, and I think now Negan definitely put him in his place.
Honestly, he had it coming.
Yeah.
He did.
He really did.
Yeah, I feel so too.
Rick has screwed up the entirety of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I hate saying that about our beloved Rick,
Yeah, and that
he really botched it after they met Jesus in Hilltop, and
it's one of those things where, and I said this last time, and I'm going to say it again, he annoys me as a character so much, not because he's like a bad one, but because he flip-flops from like good to bad like so much. And I don't mean bad as in the sense like, one day he's Mother Teresa and the next day he's Negan. I'm saying like he flip-flops from we need to bring people in, we need to have people, oh Daryl, you definitely need to be a people person, we definitely need to bring people in and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden he's just like, we don't need anybody else, we don't need anything else. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, stop flip-flopping, please. It's so annoying as, like, for a character, and so hard to actually get behind and be like, okay, I'll follow Rick, because it frustrates me. It frustrates me to no end.
Rick spent this season not being a very good leader.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And which is a departure from a lot of the other seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah.
Most of the other seasons, Rick was a pretty good leader. He had a plan. He knew what he was doing. He thought out the plan ahead of time. He worked with the group to execute the plan, and boom, they're done. There were a few moments with Jesse that it was kind of like, okay, Rick, you're thinking wrong here. You need to pull your head out of wherever you shoved it and get back on track. But for the most part, Rick was making good, solid decisions.
Well,
And then
Most of
this season, this half of the season, the whole Hilltop
Fiasco.
biggest, I wouldn't necessarily even say fiasco, because he could have just told him, you know what? You guys have fun when whoever this guy is comes knocking at your door and you don't have bullets to defend yourselves. Enjoy. We'll see you later. And walked off. And sooner or later, probably Jesus would have been back at Alexandria going, hey, we got food. You got guns? Can we, talk
Right.
something about? We can work something out here, can't we?
yeah, it went from he turned his people, which, even though they thought it was right at the time and they were scared because of the wolf attack, I feel that a lot of those survivors in Alexandria are very much, we shouldn't have done that.
Yes.
I think Glenn thinks that. I think possibly Michonne. I think a lot of them think that it was the wrong call to actually go after these people because look what's happening to us now. And even then, they went from survivors to mercenaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel they shouldn't do, because say what you want about, like, the whole Morgan thing about killing or not killing. It's like, okay, if you're defending yourself, like when the wolves attack and stuff,
That's a different thing.
that's a completely different story, and it's almost justified in killing and stuff. But when you bring the attack, it's almost one of those things where if you hit somebody, you can't get mad if they hit you back. You have to almost expect it, and even if you're mad or you're scared, so you slug somebody, if they slug you back, well, you hit them first.
Yeah.
You brought it upon yourself at that point, because they might not have hit you. But now they're going to hit you, definitely. And if they don't hit you, you got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're Negan, they're going to hit you with a bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Exactly. With Lucille.
If I had a Lucille, I'd use it as a back scratcher.
There you go.
You would have a very messed up back, Jack.
I just feel like so satisfying. I don't know.
There you go. That's American dream right there. The American dream. But no, okay, so kind of back to Rick, because I love throughout this episode this confidence that he has, which, like I said last time, it's not bad that he has confidence, and it's not bad that he believes in his team so much that they feel that they can do anything. But it's one of those things, too, where you guys essentially got lucky. You've gotten very lucky along the way. You've been able to get yourself out of situations like Terminus and everything like that, but you also got lucky when you found Alexandria. You got lucky that Carol came and found you when she did. You guys have been lucky. Don't take that for granted.
And unfortunately, they did take it for granted, and they got cocky.
Yeah.
Which is really, really bad when you're getting that way because you've gotten lucky. When you've just gotten that good, that's one thing. And I think that's something that we see in Negan's personality. That we just watched that kind of transfer from Rick to Negan.
Yeah.
Rick was very, very cocky. He was like, hey, we haven't found anybody yet that we can't take. And then Negan walked in, and Rick went, okay, we found him. And Negan's like, yep, and I'm the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't even like Negan had to walk out and, say bow or anything. Like, Stephen Ogg, Trevor, was just like, hey, get on your knees. And you see Rick bow, and it's just like this huge scene, and you see Carl kind of looking at him like, this isn't
good.
Yeah, we can't deal with this anymore. And I'm wondering, and I really hope they don't do this with Carl's character. I'm really hoping they don't go, oh, well, Dad, you bowed to this guy, and I really hope that it doesn't bring Carl back into that place he was at the end of, or after the fall of the prison, where it's like, I don't need you, Dad. I don't need anybody.
I think that's going to happen again.
No.
Yeah, and I don't like that Carl.
I don't either, but I really can't see it happening any other way.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has Enid now.
Yeah, if he makes it back to her.
Look, she's going to be locked in that closet till season 7. Okay, that's...
All right, she's still in the call.
She's like 7 months, she's going to be like, I need water.
Yeah.
I need food.
I don't know. I could see her trying to kick down the door before that
Just
time.
like R. Kelly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But, no, it's... Even though he has these people in his life, it's still like Carl's just... I'm worried that he's going to go back into that bad place again. And real quick, because I want to talk about this, because there was a line that Carl said where he... Oh, they're on to us.
Uh-oh.
They're on to us.
Oh, dear.
But no...
They've sent the Walking Dead police. We're in trouble.
Exactly. But no, there was a line that Carl said when he was talking to Aaron.
Yeah.
And Aaron said, oh, I owe her. Why did you come? And he says, I owed them. What do you think that was about? What do you think that whole thing was about? Do you think it was he owes his father, or he owes the people of Alexandria? What do you think that meant?
I think it was he owes the original group. Mm-hmm. He owes the people, well, not even just the original group, but he owes the entire group.
His family.
Yeah. They've been there. They were there when he got shot in the woods by Otis. They were there when he did all the stupid stuff that he's done. They were there to yell, "Get in the house, Coral!"
Well, yeah, that was
for
mostly,
the first 3 seasons.
That was mostly Lori, but
Yep.
Oh no!
Mostly.
Rick yelled it. Lori yelled it. Shane yelled it.
Yeah.
I think every one of the OC characters, the original group,
The
they
original
yelled,
cast,
"Get
yeah.
in the house, Carl!"
Yeah. And the only one he mouthed off to was Carol.
Which, as we find out later, is not a smart thing to do if you want to live.
No. Exactly. But I'll agree with that. I think it's he owes his group, and he's going to get way more protective.
Yes.
Of his group, and that's kind of it. There's something from the comics that they kind of do, and I think that's going to come to fruition in the next episode. And I'm not going to get super into it, but season 7 premiere, I could see one of the first cargo ships, or one of the first things that Negan does, where it's like, hey, we're going to come in a day or two to pick up our stuff, so we'll see you then. And I think Carl, because in the comics, Carl hides out and tries to assassinate Negan. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to happen the exact same. And I think Negan's going to bring him back, even though Carl might kill one or two of the saviors.
Yeah.
I think Negan's going to bring him back and be like, "Yeah, Rick, here's your kid."
Yeah,
See, I'm not a bad guy.
You need to
watch
keep this little serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In check.
Yeah, and that's going to make people kind of question: Is Negan a bad guy? And that's what I hope that they keep doing, where it's like they introduce him as a bad guy, but then you start second guessing yourself, like you did with the governor. So at certain points.
No, I completely agree. And one of the things that someone asked on Talking Dead that Robert Kirkman, I thought, answered beautifully. They asked, "What is your obsession with one-eyed characters?"
Yep.
And he did say, because they've lost an eye, they see things differently.
They maybe lost a piece of themselves.
And he said, the eyes are a window to the soul, and so they've lost a chunk of that. They've lost a piece of themselves in losing the eye, and they have a different perspective on things because they only have one eye. And I think we're going to see a lot of that play out with Carl. He's always been this, I can't think of a better way to put it, little Billy Badass in training.
Yeah.
And I think...
Well, not so little anymore.
Not so much anymore, but he's still, young teenage Carl.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see him grow up really, really quick. And I think we're going to see him become a little bit of... If you took a mixture of Rick and the Governor...
Uh-huh.
And not just because of the one eye thing, but I think that's where we're headed with Carl.
I could see something like that happening with Carl.
And Judith's first words are going to be, "Let me ask you something."
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Why can't we kill people?
Actually, I was thinking Judith's first words are going to be, "Who the hell is..." and then insert a name. If they let Abraham babysit too much.
It could be butt kicker with the other word.
I would love
Daryl will probably say that.
That's Shane's baby. We all know it.
No, we know it is, but...
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately.
Okay, now we got to talk about them. Now we got to talk about Carol and Morgan. Because these two had... It wasn't the main event. Negan was clearly the main event. But this was a nice little side story that I think definitely... I was right. They didn't come and save them, but they kind of did. They're going to Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definite.
And a lot of people kind of glossed over that because Negan.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a huge piece of the season 7 story puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, Morgan killed.
Yeah.
With a gun.
With a gun. With anything, but Morgan killed.
Well, he also says he doesn't use guns, so...
Yeah?
He used all 6 bullets, but...
That's a lie.
What got me, and I'm wondering if they're going to be doing this, or going into it a little bit more next season, was he killed the guy, but it didn't seem... He was very calm about it afterwards.
Yes, he was.
And that's what was kind of interesting. He wasn't shaken up. He wasn't, in a rage. He went boom, boom, and then it was done, and he was Morgan again. And there wasn't rage behind it. He was protecting this person, and that's why
he's the Hulk.
That's why it was exactly. But that's why it was so interesting. Is that yes, he killed this person, but instead of dwelling on it, he moved on to try to get his friend help, and it was just so weird. Like,
see, now, I looked at the conversation between Morgan and Carol, and I thought that was perfectly what needed to happen. Carol telling Morgan, sooner or later, if you stay around people that you care about, you're going to have to kill to protect them. I can't do that anymore. Morgan's whole thing was, I can be around people and I will not kill, but I will protect them. Carol kind of made Morgan prove her right.
Yeah.
Morgan found Carol and he killed to protect her.
I feel like they're both right in their own way.
And
Yeah.
they are. And I think what we're going to see, and this is what when I said I called it, I think we're going to see Morgan taking a little bit of Carol's tactic on things, and I think we're going to see Carol taking a little bit more of Morgan's tactic. Okay, I don't necessarily have to kill you. No, now I do.
You mean like
Boom.
I think
yin and yang sort of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Yin yang thing.
I think it's going to be not that he's going to kill more, but I think it's going to be depending on the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll kill more, and if there is no way out.
I think
He'll
Morgan, I don't think he's just going to indiscriminately kill. But I think if it comes down to we need to kill this person or something bad is going to happen, I don't think he's going to limit it to just somebody else from the group is going to die.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be if something bad is going to happen that's going to impact the group significantly, yeah, I'll kill him.
I feel like he's going to try. He's going to try.
He
is.
is.
He's going to be like, hey, it doesn't have to be this way. Let me help you. And if they refuse his help,
Boom.
you got to go.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's like I've been saying with the
Relax.
saviors and stuff, and it's. I think whenever him and Carol come back to the main group and they actually do start the war on the saviors, an actual war, because all out war, I think that he's going to try to offer the saviors a way out, and when some of them are, if some of them don't take the way out, then yeah, but not everybody is inherently evil.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really messed up, and I wasn't on the episode when we talked about it, but I was so happy Denise got Abraham's death. It's a good day to be an Abraham fan.
Yeah, of course they could change that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
they
about
could take
that.
the Abraham away.
They could take
Stop
that.
it.
But
Stop
real quick, did you guys notice in the episode? And I want, because I tried to find it online and I couldn't. Did Morgan say to Carol what T-Dog said to Carol in the prison before he died? When he was just like, your story's not done yet, or
It's not your time yet.
It's not your time yet.
Yeah, did
Yes.
T-Dog say that? Okay.
Yes, I think T-Dog said it's not your time.
Okay, I was trying. I wanted to make double sure because that's a lot. That's an interesting parallel between the two. That is a very interesting parallel between the two. Then, and where Carol and her story essentially is not over yet,
No.
and so it's going to keep evolving. And that's where I think her character is so interesting and so much fun. Now, I do want to ask this: why do you think it was so important for Morgan to have to go out and find Carol and bring her back? What do you think? Why do you think that was?
I think it was just that Morgan knew what an impact he had made, and he knew that, he saw the other, rest of the group going out, but he knew they weren't going out. Well, especially, it's like, it would have been nice if Daryl had gone out to go after Carol, but, we had to set up for this episode. But Morgan saw what he did to Carol, and he saw how she was after she and Maggie were brought back from the mini bunker that the Saviors took them at. So he had to go after her to bring her to not only try and bring her back, which Carol was like, yeah, no, not going back. This ain't gonna happen. Bye bye, and left. And then the scene especially the scene with the savior, the stalker savior that happened was that Carol wanted to die, and Morgan had been at that place the very same. So it only made sense that there was a parallel between them. With Carol just laying on the ground, just saying, "Kill me, kill me." It's like, it's not your time yet. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
And then we got the kingdom introduced.
Yeah, which that I think is probably one of the biggest things next to Negan to come out of this episode.
Yeah.
Found your horse. Found my friend. Can we get some help here? She's bleeding.
I can't wait to see the tiger. They're gonna do it. I want to see the tiger.
Oh, you know it's going to be CGI, but you know it's going to be
there
well
could
done.
be, the tiger's resting. It could be a trained one, but attacking CGI.
Yeah, there will be some scenes of a real tiger, but
yeah, they almost have to.
No.
yeah,
No?
No.
Totally. They
have to.
No. Listen.
And then they can make little plushy tigers.
They need to change it up. They need to change up the tiger. Now, I'm saying what it needs to do. It needs to stand up on all two legs, walk, and talk.
No.
I'll get you. I'll help you out, Rick.
Kid effect.
that's only after they accidentally drop acid that Negan left laying around.
No, I think the tiger's name is Shiva. Shiva's going to be like
Shiva.
Shiva's going to be the Jar Jar Binks of the Walking Dead.
No.
Look, they don't.
It's going to be like, let's get those saviors, Rick.
Walking Dead is in its sixth season, going into its seventh. I don't think they need a
They don't need a Jar Jar.
No.
They don't need a kazoo from Flintstones.
Not a kazoo either. You're right.
To make it more interesting and spice stuff up.
Rick, you dumb.
It's fine the way it's going, but Kingdom's going to be definitely interesting, and I'm excited to kind of see where.
I'm interested in who they're going to get to play Ezekiel.
That's gonna be interesting too, and I think I'm just excited to see where Carol and Morgan's story goes.
It'd be cool if they got the actor to play who plays Lee Everett on The Walking Dead, the video games, because he looks a lot like Ezekiel.
I was thinking, see if you could get George Clinton in.
George Clinton.
Look up Parliament Funkadelic one of these days.
Alrighty, we'll look that up after the show a little bit, because now we got to talk about him. We got to talk about Eugene.
Oh boy.
Yes.
What?
You might want to mention that we are
89.5
broadcasting from
right.
KCFV Ferguson, 89.5 The Wave. You're listening to Dead Air.
Sorry, people. There's a wall between us. We're not in the same room, and so he's like ID, and I'm like, what?
You'd what?
Yeah, no, exactly.
ID.
Exactly. We are 89.5 The Wave, KCFV Ferguson. I meant to do that, and then I got completely sidetracked. So now we need to talk.
Tiger.
Exactly. Well, you talk about the tiger, you're gonna, get the claws. But I digress. So, okay, we gotta talk about Eugene. Because Eugene in this episode,
He's stoned up.
I'll openly admit it.
Yeah.
I'll openly admit it. I got teary-eyed when him and Abraham hugged.
It was close.
Yeah, very emotional. Very emotional scene. Very
It
Which is
was.
why I thought Eugene was
It
going
was
to die.
extremely emotional, and that's exactly it. That's part of the reason why I include Eugene in my three of who may be
Kicking the bucket.
Oh yeah, they talked
It's
about everything.
Smooch and Lucille.
It's one of those things, and I really hate to say this, because I love Eugene. Eugene is one of my favorite characters, and honestly, I could just watch a Walking Dead sides webisodes of just Eugene and Abraham talking, having conversations, like a CNN special or something like that.
Jeez.
Oh god, that would be hilarious because Eugene would have absolutely no sense of humor, and Abraham would be saying things like picking up a turd by the clean end.
Exactly. I could watch these two characters all the time, but the only thing that kind of makes me say that I don't think he deserves the quote-unquote Negan death yet, is because, unfortunately, with Eugene, yes, he's coming into his own, and yes, it was such a very emotional scene, and I absolutely loved it, but if Eugene died, if he was the one that got it, you'd be almost relieved because some of your other favorite characters didn't die, and you would kind of be like, oh, well, Eugene died. Oh, man, that sucks. He was kind of going to become a cool character. Okay, let's move on. Whereas if you kill a Michonne, a Glenn, a Daryl, that's sending a statement.
And Aaron.
Aaron's on the beat.
I like Aaron. I don't care what you say.
I loved
him.
Aaron,
Just
but
it wouldn't make an impact.
he's on that B tier. He's on that B tier, like I was saying. Well, he's on the C tier.
Yeah.
Abraham's like B.
He's like a B minus.
Abraham's A tier. He has an A in his name. Abraham.
The biggest thing that I thought that makes me consider Eugene, because I agree, I don't think it would have the same impact on the group. I think it would have an impact. I don't think it would have the same as one of the original characters.
Yeah, the Trinity.
Which we've got Rick, Carl, Glenn,
and Daryl
out of the originals that are there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've still got Carol,
Yeah, well, she's...
Technically, if you want to look at it that way, we've got Morgan, but he was an original character who disappeared for most of the series.
Yeah.
I count this as like his real big first season, so...
Yeah, same here. But the only reason I look at Eugene is think back to before the walls fell at Alexandria. Deanna handed Michonne her plans and said, you know, you need to be thinking about what you're going to do going forward. And then Deanna was gone. Well, until she became a walker.
Yeah.
Eugene handed Rick, you'll find instructions on how to make ammunition, everything you need.
Abraham knows
where to go in case anything were to happen to me. It's like,
bye, Eugene.
oh, dude, you just gave up the piece of paper that was your get out of getting beat over the head free card. Then with him stoning up and saying, hey, I'll drive the RV, draw him off, you guys make a run for it through the woods. His big thing and Abraham saying you're a survivor, it's like,
bye.
Oh, man, all the signs are pointing to Eugene's going to die, if not by Negan soon. Man, this sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why Eugene just doesn't use his brains at a bartering chip. Like when Negan's picking out somebody like, hey, I know how to make ammunition. If you let me live, I'll tell you.
Yeah, but then I feel that it would be one of those things where it's like...
Because he's a slither, snaky snake.
I feel it would almost be like a Breaking Bad thing where, like, how Gus was, where it's like, hey, teach this guy how to make, how to make the product. Because afterwards, we don't... Yeah, exactly, because then we don't need you. And then he can teach everybody else. And so that... And unfortunately, as much as I love Eugene... I don't think he's as smart enough to kind of see that out.
Oh, no, he's smart. You don't underestimate Eugene's intelligence now.
The other thing is, he told Rick, I'm your anchor man. I'm your guy. I'm here. Which I think was his way of saying, I'm on your side. I'm not going to...
leave you.
I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to turn on you. I'm not going to... And that would be, in Eugene's mind... turning on Rick and the group.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't kill me, I'll show you how to make bullets. I know I got a place. That would be Eugene turning on Rick and the group. And I don't think he'll do
be like
that.
Eugene, like 2 seasons ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But
2 seasons ago, he would have.
Yeah.
But I feel if he feels that it would save the group,
I still don't think he'd do it.
Possibly. If he says, hey, look, don't kill anybody, but I know how to make bullets, and I can make you guys some of the finest bullets you've ever seen, and I will give you that production. I will work nonstop. Just don't kill any of my people. I'll gladly give myself up, work, be your guys' bullet guy. Don't hurt my people. I could see him doing that.
Maybe.
I couldn't see it working, but I could see him doing it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because Negan would be like, we don't need you. We got 9 other people making bullets, so, who cares? But Eugene's definitely... And see, this is one of those things where this is a character that what I had a problem with Beth, what I had a problem with Denise, this is that stuff where this is how a character should come into their own. This is how a character should gradually evolve from being a coward and not a survivor to being a survivor, and even then becoming extremely awesome.
And then getting killed.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's dead yet.
I'm still going with Glenn as my number 1, but Eugene is my number 2.
Yeah, and I believe me, I understand that why. Now, I find it interesting too that we haven't really. We say it's like, oh, Eugene or somebody, but we haven't really said like Sasha or Maggie or anybody else like that, or Aaron.
I don't think Sasha's going to get it. I don't think. I think Maggie. He's going to. Even if he did, I think somebody would shout out, "She's pregnant. She's going to have a baby," and that would stop him.
Maybe.
No, even though Negan, is both a bad A and also charismatic, we did see with the comics, it's like he's against rape, isn't he? So it's like, with pregnant women, it's like even if she's pregnant, from consent, still she's pregnant, she's carrying a life inside her. That child could be reared to work for Negan.
Yeah.
Or it could be a liability. And hey, if you didn't kill my men, then she and the little guy inside of her didn't have to die.
Or little girl, we don't know.
That's so that's on you guys. You made me do it. So
I don't see it, though.
I could see Negan kind of viewing it like that, and that's where it's going to be interesting to watch this character unfold the next couple of seasons. And I really hope that we don't get to that quote unquote time skip, because there's a time skip in the comic book, and I really hope we don't get to that anytime soon. And I'm enjoying Walking Dead now because we got our big bad. He's gonna stay. Rick's been put in his place, and the show's just gonna keep going up and up. and up.
Watching Rick be all scared, like he was terrified.
Oh,
yeah.
he was.
Yeah,
He was about ready to probably pee himself.
He
So
was a wreck.
It was Pee Pee Pants City.
exactly. It was Pee Pee Pants City, and
I mean, everybody was.
That's what I liked. You can see throughout the episode where with Rick, he gradually goes from having this overall confidence to mouthing off to
Cocky
Trevor.
attitude to
Trevor,
Yeah, to mouthing off to Trevor to he's
quivering on the ground.
Exactly. He's scared. He doesn't know what to do, and then he kind of like it was like torture when Negan was just like, oh, which one should I pick? And he's just like, come on, get it over with. And he's just like, hey, you don't tell me when to kill. I'll kill.
When I want to.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's putting Rick again in his place, even when Rick had that little bit of, oh, look at me. It's, no, get back down. You're
Stay down. I'm in
Yeah.
control. You're not.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It was fantastic. Like, it's just a fantastic season. Is there any more thoughts that you guys have? Or something that we might not have brought up yet? Because
I think that it's going to be a change. It's not going to be the same anymore. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more darker, a lot more scarier.
It's like I think I've said, and I think a couple of us have said it, to where this is the story of Rick, getting too big and Negan putting him in his place, and then next season's going to be the death and then the fallout of that character and the whole arc that's going to happen of him pretty much submitting. And I think possibly by mid-season, he could be like, okay, we need to go to war, or I don't really know how they're going to do it anymore. I can't predict anything else.
I mean, comics-wise, it looks like they're building towards the all-out war story arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought in, Alexandria is ready. They brought in Hilltop. Now we're getting into Kingdom. I think once we get Hilltop, Kingdom, and Alexandria all talking to each other, they're going to start figuring out that, maybe Negan's got more men than any one or even two of us, but the three of us together, if they can manage to get some clandestine meetings, I think they'll get this plan in their head that they can take Negan, and I think they will.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting how they work and how the three civilizations are going to kind of break out and secretly meet each other up.
Yes.
Because especially with Alexandria now and Hilltop, now the Saviors are going to be watching them like almost 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Until they do what they're expected to do for a regular period of time. And I think you will see a time jump probably around episode 2 or 3, maybe even 4.
Yeah, like a couple months later of them.
They've been doing it. They're getting beat down. They're growing more, but they're giving half to Negan, and I think that's where you're going to start seeing, communication between the Hilltop and them, and you're going to see Carol and Morgan come back talking about the Kingdom. And I think once Carol and Morgan get into the Kingdom and start talking about Alexandria and Hilltop and Negan, I think they're going to find that the Kingdom's had issues with Negan.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to say, you need to take a message back to your people. And I think that's where the whole beginnings of the all-out war are going to be. I think we're going to see, very first thing, who got the bat.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see Carol and Morgan until at least episode 2, maybe even 3.
Yeah. They're gradually gonna reintroduce them, and I think, or it could be one of those things where they get in, and that's when we're gonna meet Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, as soon as they get in, we're gonna meet Ezekiel.
Yeah, we're gonna meet him, or it could be one of those things where they might disappear, and possibly if one, like maybe Abraham or Sasha or whoever doesn't get hurt could go on a run. Like, they'll run into a tiger, and then eventually the people from Hilltop will be like, oh, hey, yeah, come to this place, and that's, not Hilltop, Kingdom.
Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, and the people from Kingdom will come over, and that's, or the people that were running kind of run into the tiger, who ran into the tiger, will run into, go to Kingdom, and that's where they'll see Carol and Morgan and be like, oh, that's where you guys were. Okay. That's interesting. So, but honestly, like, this has been one of the better season finales that we've gotten in a while. Like,
it was intense, impactful. We got Negan, so that made you happy, JazzHandss.
You guys can
and
that.
He was terrifying.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, can you think of a season finale that has been better?
In any season of Walking Dead?
Any season, yeah.
Honestly. 3 was good.
3 ended on a high note, and so it was good in that aspect. But like entertainment,
5 was good.
Entertaining.
Yeah, they were entertaining. 5 was entertaining. You got to watch Glenn versus Nicholas. You got to watch a lot of stuff unfold, and and when it ended.
Yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong and say that they weren't good, but there was emotion, but it wasn't as crazy as this one.
And there was
you can't deny that.
I mean,
Yeah,
there
I
was
agree with
emotion and everything, but I'm still into the aspect that, like, I feel the cliffhanger was kind of cheap.
See, I'll defend that
I
cliffhanger
gotta agree
to
with
the death.
JazzHandss on this. It was needed to be there.
And it's kind of cheap.
I think it was definitely.
It could have just been cheap if they said, "Hi, I'm Negan." Credits. That would have been cheap.
Yeah, that would have been kind of a cheap way to kind of go out, but like again, it was one of I think the best season, and let's give them another real quick round of applause because fantastic job with this entire season, and it's going to be awesome because this episode that just aired today is going to be up on Facebook.com/STLDeadAir. I've been posting all of them. You can go back and look at from episode 1 to now of this entire season, our entire review of what's going on, predictions, thoughts, and get the full season all up on YouTube. And it's going to be fun too because we get to come back next week for Fear the Dead Air. I don't know if it's going to be
Yay!
Good show, very good show.
Trust me, like say what you want about the finale or anything. Fear's where they actually need to.
Oh no,
that's where they need work. Anything that The Walking Dead does
Fear's
that's either
dumb.
good or bad is
Nothing.
miles.
Yeah,
the worst that The Walking Dead can do is miles better than what Dead Air or not
Fear.
Dead Air. Fear. The Walking Dead has
but
done.
Fear has such lovable characters and good plot devices.
Oh no, trust me, I'm gonna get into it. Like I'm still having hope because I don't want to bash it on its second season. I still have hope that the series can turn around and become something good. And from the little glimpse that we saw, it looked kind of like stuff was getting good or it was interesting. But I don't know.
We'll see.
So,
we'll see.
That white kid with dreadlocks is the Glenn of the group. He's lovable, and everyone would be sad if he died.
Anyway, do we want to do any more predictions, or we just want to say we'll see you guys in October? For Walking Dead, anyway.
Let's do a quick prediction. How do we think season 7's going to go, and then we'll wrap it out. What do you think's going to happen?
We're definitely going to see who got Lucille to the head. We're going to see more of Negan showing that he is the boss, and he's got a boot in Rick's back. And we're gonna see that Rick is probably going to work with Negan and them until he starts thinking of a plan. And for now, he's kicked down. He's kind of back to where he was season. I'd say about season 2, season 3 area.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Because he's gotten kicked down quite a few pegs by Negan, showing gotten his cocky attitude back in check. So once they start doing missions and things for Negan and start running into people from the Kingdom and from Hilltop, and we'll probably see I'll agree with Paul. We'll probably see Carol and Morgan in like episode 2 or 3. I'll say 3. And they'll be at the kingdom being all rest up and Carol's gotten her arm all checked out from the bullets. Everything's gonna be okay. And they've made Morgan probably's made friends with the kingdom. Carol's just probably gonna be off in a corner somewhere, just kind of by herself. And Morgan has told him about the group, told him about Negan, and it's like, oh yeah, we've heard of this guy. We've got some problems with him too, and it's like. And then we've got, probably we might have people from Hilltop who are running missions for him too. All three of the groups will collide at some point and say, "Hey, you're working for this guy? Yeah, you too? Oh, yeah, all 3 of us? Okay. Well, we could probably get something to work and start doing the secret meetings. Maybe about mid-season, I'd say, is when they're going to start getting the plans together. That's what I say.
Something like that I think is going to happen. I could also see Kingdom, because I don't know a lot about Kingdom. I just know I've heard it.
I've just heard of it. Same here.
Yeah, I've just heard of it. So I could see possibly Kingdom being one of those places where Negan might not mess with it. It might be that well defended, and if that's the case, and they're like, well, we don't want to go to war with Negan. Like, he hasn't really messed with us. Like, I could see there being some kind of interesting parallels to,
okay.
Well, should they fight? Should we help? Should we do this, that? Should we kind of do this? Are you bringing this group in to clean up the mess that you made, Rick? So I think this is going to be interesting, and I really hope that Rick kind of doesn't get his comeuppance, but, like, I really hope that it goes... I hope we get a next season a consistent Rick.
Yeah,
I hope we get a consistent Rick, and I hope we get this Rick that's not like, oh, we need to do this, and blah, 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 and, the Michonne hitting him upside the head Rick. I hope we get a more stable leader Rick that genuinely cares.
And who goes back to thinking of his plans instead of just rushing in head first.
Yeah. What are your predictions?
For season 7?
Yep.
Yes.
I feel like they're going to be doing stuff with Negan, and then... pretty much, I honestly can see them actually defeating Negan in season 8.
Yeah. I hope, and this is what I'm saying. I don't think that it should be a 1.5 season character, kind of like the Governor. I want this to be a good 2 seasons
at least
of content before Negan is dealt with, and then we still have to deal with Negan afterwards, because I know in the comics they put him in jail and everything like that. So, but anyways, again, another awesome season of The Walking Dead. Each year it gets better, and each year I'm trying to make Dead Air as best as it can be, and I think this has been one of the better years. I think this has definitely been fun, and we will see all of you in October if you just want The Walking Dead. But Fear the Dead Air starts next week, so if you're gonna miss our awesome voices and our opinions, definitely tune in next week, because we will be tackling Fear. But as for The Walking Dead season 6, thanks everybody so much. I had a blast. Again, it's been amazing, and I will see all of you in October.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.